Hi, I'm Joey Leone, and I'm here for Eastwood Guitars, and we're debuting this brand new Eastwood offering called the Monolith Guitar. And those of you familiar with this design will recognize it. Looks a lot like an Esquire, but that's where the similarities really end, because this guitar is a totally different idea. And starting with the contoured set neck, it's not a bolt-on neck. You have unlimited access to the higher frets with this mode here that Mike Robinson and myself designed here with this Eastwood Monolith guitar. And of course there's a wraparound tailpiece very similar to the old Les Paul Juniors. So, but the real story of this guitar, of course, is a company called RebelSonic that I've worked very closely with, have designed a pickup called the Monolith pickup. The pickup is so big we had to name the guitar after it. It was amazing. It's big, it's black, it's mysterious. It was the talk of the recent NAMM show. Everybody was coming over and going, what is that thing? I mean, it just, they couldn't believe the sound coming out of this guitar. And the Monolith pickup is a brand new design like no other pickup in the world. It's the biggest pickup on the planet. It's got 3 modes. The first mode, which we heard a little bit of, is the single coil mode. It's kind of like a single coil pickup on steroids. I know that's been used a million times, but that's pretty much it. But it doesn't compromise in its treble and its, you know, bite. A lot of pickups are single coil pickups. When you make them too big, they lose a little bit of that. This one doesn't. You can hear it right here. This cuts through. It's called the ice pick mode. I mean, it's just. Now, the design of this Monolith pickup allows us and the user, you guys, to basically roll off the treble a little bit here and get a totally different sound, and it's a usable sound. It's not a muddy sound that's going to be a, a sound that you can say, oh, it stinks. This is not. Let's check this out. This is it full out with the treble on. I'm going to turn the treble down about 40%. It's kind of like almost like an EQ boost or cut. So if you're playing behind a singer and you want to comp a little bit behind the singer, you're like, and solo. It's a very cool aspect of this guitar. Because of this Monolith design pickup, it really does have a lot of different sounds. You roll off the treble and you roll off the volume, and you have some nice, different sounds. Here's the volume full out. Volume a little bit down. And like I said, it reminds me a lot of Les Paul Juniors, where guys like Leslie West and Johnny Thunder used. They only had one pickup on those guitars, and they were really getting a couple of different sounds out of them using the treble, the tone control and the volume control. Later on, we're going to hear this guitar through the high gain amp, and you'll hear the difference in the higher gain modes where this guitar really can get out and reach you. Anyway, we're going to go from the single coil mode to the full pile driver mode, which is the Monolith full sound. Listen to this. It's like you kicked in a boost pedal, but it boosts you not just louder in the mid range. So it's a It boosts you up in the mid-range. It's a chunkier, beefier pickup, and later on you hear it through the Marshall and through a pedal. You'll be able to really shred this pickup at unprecedented levels without any noise, because it's a humbucking mode. But getting back to the Monolith pickup here, another great thing about this pickup, which I've never experienced in any pickup I've ever seen, it's obviously a humbucking pickup with 2 coils. One coil here, one coil there. But because of this design of this pickup, and because these coils are so hot and they are so dynamic and present, that when you turn down, you listen to this thing clean, which we wanted to do first. got a unique sound to it, but check out how unique sound it has when you roll the treble off a little bit. It's a different sound, and the reason it's a different sound is because while cutting the treble, what you're actually doing is you're making the back coil of the pickup, which you hear now the less dominant one, and you're bringing in this front coil pickup, and that is the thing that really makes this pickup unique. It's like having another pickup right here. So it's kind of like that strat in between the phase, you know, in between the pickup sound. I mean, that's a beefy pickup, but it's still got some bite to it, and you're bringing in this other sound. It's great for, you know, a lot of different sounds. You'll hear it through the high gain amp, but even for like the bluesy stuff. You hear that other pickup talking to you? That I love. And I also use this guitar and that sound when I'm playing sometimes with my funk band, when I'm playing like... It's a beefy comping sound, especially on the higher strings. You know, sometimes you don't want to use the lower strings because you might be, you know, competing with the bass player who's playing in a higher register, or a keyboard player. So you want to play the higher strings, but you don't want to be all trebly and out in the stratosphere somewhere. You got that mid-range kind of funky sound. You put a phase shifter or an old school kind of phase shifter or flanger or univibe on this, it's a great sound. So there it is. That's the monolith sound with the treble cut a little bit. There it is with the treble back on. So it's definitely a tone control, but it's a volume control too. Now the volume control works very interesting on this pickup too, because it's such a dynamic pickup. You cut the volume on this just a little bit. Hear the different sound? It's lowering the volume, but you're not losing the integrity of the pickup. I know in a lot of double coil, you know, humbucking guitars, as soon as you take the volume control from 10 to 7, it's almost unusable. And this guitar, because of the design of this pickup, is not that way. So that's it. Now this middle sound, what we call the cement mixer sound, it's a humbucking sound, but basically it's a humbucking pickup, less output than the monolith, than the pile driver sound, but it's with the treble rolled off, and you can get a really nice mellow sound. This is a great sound for, like, you know, comping. Almost a jazzy sound. I mean, I'm not thinking a jazz guitar player is going to go out and buy this guitar, but you can get that sound without having to switch guitars. You know, you can get a... It's a very, very nice sound. But later on, that sound's really going to speak to you when we put it through the high gain amp. So there it is. It's the monolith guitar, the monolith pickup made by RebelSonic, and we're going to switch modes here. We're going to go into the Marshall, and we're going to get a little dirtier and a little crunchier, and we'll be right back with you. Thanks a lot. Stop, sustain, stop.